Hey everybody, I'm Bob, and I'm so excited about today's video. If you're watching this video, then you are considering building a barn door. Barn door is one of my favorite projects. I think they are beautiful, they're fun to build, and they add real interest and character to a room. So if you take a close look at these doors, you'll notice that there are no surface nails or fasteners of any kind from this side. You see, the whole idea of a barn door is that it's supposed to look ancient or rustic or like an heirloom piece, like some master craftsman meticulously labored over building these doors over 150 years ago. Well, 250 or 150 years ago, using nails was considered cheating. So all the joinery was done by just using wood. So in order to add to the authenticity, we don't have any face nails of any kind on the doors. You know, nothing screams fake like 50 or 100 black-headed drywall screws glaring out at you from under 7 layers of clear coat on the face of the barn door. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be building a barn door without any surface nails on the face.
Check the door casing for plumb. If it is out of plumb, make it plumb. If you can't make it plumb, make the door a little wider. We want our door to be 1/4 of an inch wider than the headstock of the casing and 3/4 of an inch shorter than the distance from the bare floor to the top of the casing.
So the first thing you're going to want to do is prepare yourself a decent work surface. I picked up this 1.5 inch styrofoam for 17 bucks. A couple of 2x4s underneath give it good support. Remember, this door is going to get pretty heavy. So I've already pre-cut my cross pieces and my uprights, otherwise known as stiles and rails. And I put the pocket holes into the rails.
Okay, it's time to start assembling. Put some wood glue on those boards. Now you can guarantee that those boards are cut exactly the same length by cutting them a little heavy and then clamping 2 boards together before you cut them on your miter saw. That will ensure perfectly equal distances. Be sure to clamp the 2 boards together before you install the 1 1/4 inch pocket screws, because they can slide around. So be sure to clamp those. Now we check the door for square by measuring diagonally across. Those dimensions should be identical. However, if your boards are identical, they should be identical. Now I'm checking this is the cross brace. I'm checking this for the sweet side. You want the prettiest side out. Then I take a straight edge and line it with the bottom and the top. Lay a straight board across there and make a pencil line. Do not cut the pencil line off. That's going to be the angle that you need to cut it on your miter saw. Now I'm using the pocket hole system to drill the pocket holes for the cross brace. This is on the back side of the cross piece, so make sure that you're building this door upside down. You're building the door face down so that you can install your fasteners from the back. A little more glue. Nice tight fit. Again, clamp the face of the boards. You don't need the Craig jig face clamp, but it sure is useful. You can also do this with a clamp and a couple of boards. You put the boards on the joint and that'll help hold that together, clamping it tight. Now let's make sure that it fits the opening, because after this it's going to be too late. Is that an S? Oh no. Oh wait. There we go. A Z. That's right. Take it back out to the workspace and find the center of your door from end to end. Now these are tongue and groove 1x6. They're actually 3/4 by 5.5, and you get about a 5 1/4 inch surface after the tongue and groove has been cut out. I'm checking the boards for the pretty spots and knots. I want to put those face down. Now I'm physically lining the boards up on that center mark to find where the width of my first board. Now remember to accommodate for the tongue, so you have to set your fence a little wider. So I line it up with that pencil mark. Watch the fingers. I always throw my pinky behind the fence just to keep my hand back away from the blade. It's a good habit. Okay, now we take and lay a serpentine bead of that wood glue. If you want to sprinkle some salt on there to help keep the board from moving around, you can do that. I didn't have any salt with me. And we want to clamp those two boards together. Clamp those surfaces good and tight. Make sure they're lined up parallel. And now I take an 18 gauge 1 1/4 inch finish nail. That's a brad nail. And those holes can be filled with wood filler very easily, and they won't even be noticeable. And that is the back side of the door. That is a flooring nailer that I'm using to run the staples along the tongue. And these are a blind fastener, so when the groove of the next board goes on, you can't see it. Run a bead of glue on the tongue, and if you get too much glue on there, you get some squeeze out. Make sure you clean that off as you work, because glue does not take the stain or the clear coat very well. Using a tapping block to tap things tight. Again with the flooring nailer. I'm using a 1 inch narrow crown, 1/4 inch narrow crown stapler. If you don't have a flooring gun, you can use the brad nailer. Always, always check your fastener length on a scrap piece of wood. Even though I know what I'm doing, I make sure I take 2 scrap pieces of wood and throw a couple fasteners in there just to make sure that they don't go through the face. Now here, setting the next to the last row, tapping things tight. By this time the door is getting pretty heavy. Quarter inch narrow crown staples, and Measure for the last row. The last row will have the groove side on it. So you're going to be cutting off the tongue. Again, glue that outside edge. Put some glue on the tongue. The glue is important. Without it, this thing will creak and twist. Again, clamping it. Before I nail it. Now notice the boards are all uneven. And I cut them all at the same time with a straight edge and a circular saw. This way I can align the prettiest place on the board so that it shows through on the face of the door, and cut them all off at the same time. This saves a lot of time. You don't have to try to cut all the boards perfect one by one. You can cut them all perfect at the same time. Sand it smooth. And now for the side of the door, I take my planer and run it down the side of the door to get those two boards perfectly smooth. Then I run my random orbit sander down and put an eased edge on the corner by quickly going down the edge. Depending on how dense the material is will depend on, and how heavy of a grip you have on your sandpaper will determine how long you spend easing that edge. Taking some hand sandpaper and just easing the edge on the inside corners.
Alright, well, cool. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you found the information useful, let me know. Write something in the comment box below and let me know how your project turned out. Send me a picture. I'd love to see it. These doors, I know I'm going to get the question, these doors are knotty alder. They're very beautiful, and these will just get a clear coat and be hung on the wall, and will not hide any of the character of the wood. So anyway, that's it for this video. God bless you. He loves you. I hope you have a great day. Hey, before you go, I want to say a great big thank you to my new subscribers, especially Jeff and Mike. You know who you are. And I wanted to show you this clamp that I was using in the video. This is the Craig Automax. This thing is really cool. It adjusts to any size automatically. It doesn't need, I got it set pretty tight. But anyway, if you notice, there's no bolt on this end. So it's one-handed operation and then brings it down. This goes up to 3 inches. So it's great for cabinetry and furniture building, and of course the pocket hole system. But being able to clamp this thing with one hand is a real time saver. I gotta tell you, thank you, Craig. They didn't give this to me, I bought it, but I just want to tell them thank you for saving me all kinds of time. And to the guy that invented this thing, man, I hope you're a multimillionaire, because that was genius. That's it. Bye-bye.